Hira, I want to thank you for your time today. This has been a very enjoyable discussion, but I do want to open it up. If there's anything maybe I didn't ask about that you'd like to emphasize here before we close, go ahead.
One thing on the last point you just made. Yeah, having the culture is very important because you get away from this check mark mentality. You know, if people just check the boxes, I'm secure or something like that. So you get away from that because culture really helps people to think it through, internalize it viscerally and say, yep, what is the right thing to do? So very important from a culture standpoint. Look, my parting thoughts of this. So cybersecurity is gaining traction, has gained traction, but I think there are significant disconnects still in the businesses we all manage. And there are namely threefold. One is there's an increasing number of breaches, as I mentioned, responsibly. And even my expectations were that we will plateau, and it's showing that where we industry-wise think, well, we've done good stuff, but the numbers are proving that in the last 6 months that there's a lot of work ahead of us. Mm-hmm. Secondly is protection versus actual breaches. What I mean by that, there was a recent study which came out that when they looked and talked to the CIOs, they thought, yep, we have great protections in place, but the numbers belied those expectations, you know, that there were a higher number of breaches than you would think were possible, with the CIO saying, yep, I've got adequate protection in place. So there's a disconnect which needs to be bridged there. And third and lastly, which is very important, is with the board of directors. There was a recent Harvard Business Review, it's on my LinkedIn page, which looked and polled about 5,000 board of directors, you know. Mm-hmm. And to a T, they all agreed that cybersecurity made the list in the top 10. Should be top 2, top 3, but anyway, it made the list. But what was disheartening was the fact that all of them agreed to a T that it was ranked dead last in the processes from an oversight role they looked at. So here's a disconnect, right? Fairly high in terms of ranking cybersecurity, but the processes in place and providing oversight of that ranked dead last. And partly, again, it's got to deal with the fact of their familiarity with cybersecurity, the evolutionary nature of cybersecurity and what's happening and how to put their arms around it. So this requires heightened awareness and education going forward to ensure that these disconnects are really taken care of and remediated and brought much closer together so we have an actual view about what's really going on and how can we actually be better going forward with any business.
Hira, thank you so much for your time today. I think the message for boards of directors is very clear. We need to have active involvement and oversight. And I think the words you've shared today will help them move along that continuum to continuous improvement. So thank you so much.
I hope so. Thank you. Yes, thank you, Jay.